This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sam Jones over Zoom. Sam, first and foremost, how are you doing?
Take three. I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Obviously, yes, this is take three. We've had a few issues just trying to sort out some lighting as you are in a hotel bubble ahead of what must feel like an eternity ahead of next weekend. Daniel Dubois versus your guy, Joe-Joyce. We will come on to that properly in a little bit, but just whilst we're here, how excited are you to know that it's only a matter of 6 days away now?
I'm not in the bubble yet. I'm in a hotel that's like near Joe's gym. We move into the bubble on Tuesday. But yeah, mate, I'm excited. It's just I want the test to be done. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got that hurdle to go through. Because like you just never know, do you? So I think both sides, like it's been like it has felt like it's just been an eternity, like of waiting for this fight to happen. So I just want it to be everyone to be tested. Everyone's okay. Let's get on with it.
We'll touch on the fight a little bit more in a bit, but let's just go back over a few other things which involve your fighters. Start off with a Matchroom show last night. Somebody who you're not involved with, but one of your guys would like to fight. Kind of Benn with a very, very good display against Benn-Formella. Sam, if you watched the fight, what did you make of it?
I thought Connor did well. I thought Connor performed really well, but it's like it's hard for me to. I don't know because that Formella is like he's not that great, but he's so tough. Like he's just so tough. Like he was never like you look after even the second round, you knew he was never going to be winning the fight. But like I don't know, Connor hit him with some big shots, but Connor got a ragged, didn't he, towards the end, like a bit ragged towards the end, and I just like. I'm gonna just talk on for my guy. Like I know Florian would beat Conor Benn. Like I know he would. But Conor looked great, and Conor wants the Josh Kelly fight, which again it makes sense. It's like, but when people are saying, oh, like what does Florian bring? Florian brings a sold out crowd to the O2 Arena next year. If the fans are back next year, touch wood, the fans are back. Florian brings a hell of a lot to the table. He really does. He brings a packed crowd, which is it's big in sport. Do you know what I mean? In any sport, let alone boxing. So I hope the fight happens, but Florian's prepared to earn his stripes. You know what I mean? Florian's prepared to earn his stripes to get that fight. I mean, we've tried to make the Ryland Charlton fight he was coming off a big win against Joe Laws. So they've turned the fight down, but I'm hearing that they could be changing their mind a little bit. So let's just see. Let's just see. I think it'd be a great, really fun fight for the fans, and then whoever wins out of that fight, will move on to a bigger fight.
Sam, you mentioned Florian could bring in a big crowd, and we all know about just how large his support is. Do you understand though where Connor comes from when he does say that he doesn't really feel like Florian brings enough to the table in his eyes?
Yeah, when he said that's the only bit that I don't agree with when he says, oh, he doesn't bring any, he just brings Instagram followers. Listen, Instagram followers, they have to show up and they will show up. Do you know what I mean? It's not just about Instagram followers. Like let's be honest. Like who's Conor Benn really beat? Like he's not really beaten anybody, has he? Has he really done enough to earn that ranking that he's got? Not really, if we're honest. But has he? Is he? But he's probably, from what I saw, one of the most improved fighters in this country. He really is. Like I'll give him massive credit. So don't thumbnail me saying no. But no, he's. I like Conor Benn as a person as well. I just want the fight for my guy. But if Conor would have said, "Oh, look, he's 7-0. His record's not really big enough to," I'd be like, "Okay, fair enough." But don't say he doesn't bring anything to the table, because we both know he does bring something to the table. And let's be honest, them two having a fight is a more exciting fight than the Josh Kelly fight stylistically. Stylistically, Florian and Conor Benn is an absolute barnstormer. Do you know what I mean? Josh Kelly's not going to stand toe to toe with Conor Benn. Josh Kelly's going to look to box his ears off. So stylistically, stylistically, it's a great fight, and I hope it fights heights. But yeah, I understand what Conor's saying, and like Florian's prepared to earn his stripes, and hopefully the fight happens the end of next year.
We saw Eddie kind of put a few tweets out involving Florian. Well, it must have been about 5 or 6 days ago, saying that you guys will work together, try and get a plan moving forwards. What did those discussions entail?
To be honest, we've got offers from everybody to sign Florian, but look, Florian wants the Conor Benn fight. Do you know what I mean? Wants the Conor Benn fight, but Florian doesn't live to fight for Conor Benn. He just wants that fight because it's an exciting fight, and it's a huge fight when it happens, if it happens. But let's see. Eddie Earns, we've not really held a proper discussion about Florian yet. So let's see if he's told Florian personally that, yeah, I want to work with you and stuff. So, but let's see. Like, Florian's not going to wait around for Eddie. Like, he's got offers on the table from everybody. Florian's a big draw. So let's see what happens.
Touch on just a couple of the other fights on that card last night. We saw Fabio Wardley stop Richard Larty. Sam, what did you make of that second round stoppage? A lot of people over social media kind of hinting at foul play a little on Larte's part by taking a dive effectively, is what people have been saying.
I've watched it back. I've been sent the replay a few times. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. And like, Larte's got a good chin. Do you know what I mean? A really good chin. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just want to give credit to Fabio Wardley. I like Fabio Wardley, and we should just credit him, and just let's hope that there's not been any Bet365s going on in the I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. From what I've saw, it doesn't look great, but who knows?
On paper, Sam, do you give him more credit knowing that it's a better stoppage than what Daniel Dubois produced, and he got him out there whilst Nathan Gorman took him to points, or is it hard to because of what's been said?
Genuinely, right? I don't really look at stuff like that, because I think that styles make fights. Because I think that Gorman beat Larty better than Dubois. I know Dubois knocked him out, but Dubois had a bloody almighty scrap with Larty. But I just think Gorman battered him. Do you know what I mean? Gorman absolutely battered him. So I don't really, styles always make fights. That's the way I look at that. I mean, everyone's style's different, aren't they? So the way Gorman beat Larty, you just beat him. Gorman was 21 stone. Do you know what I mean? And just went in there and just peppered him for 10 or 12 rounds, however long it was. Didn't lose a round against him. So I don't know. I want to give credit to Fabio, because I really like Fabio as a person. He's came down. He's helped Joe for sparring. And I wish Fabio all the best.
Just one other heavyweight fight on that card I want to touch on is the Alan Babich Tom Little one. What do you make of Alan Babich, Sam?
He's just like a really angry, bold man, isn't he, Babich? He's just a really angry man. But one thing about Babich is everyone gives him like even me, like I thought, flipping it, this guy doesn't look like that good, like, but he gets in there and he does what he says, doesn't he? Like, if you're going to compare stoppages and stuff, like, Babich has done a better job on Little than Dubois did. He's done a better job than what Hrgivoc. Listen, Tom Little in that Hrgivoc fight, and bear in mind, I love Hrgivoc. Really, he's one of my favorite heavyweights to watch. He's a beast, isn't he? But he was doing well against Hrgivoc. Tom Little was, until he got caught with that big, I think it was a big right hand. Babich battered Tom Little. He just battered him. He got in the ring and battered him. Little caught him with a couple of light shots, but I thought Tom could have probably let his hands go a little bit. But it's very rich me sitting here and say that when you've got this little beast like swinging haymakers at you. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Babich is entertainment, isn't he? He's raw entertainment, and like I look forward to watching him box, because a lot of fighters say they're going to do a lot of things and they get in there and they don't do it, or they do the opposite. Babich tells you, like, I'm coming to knock you out in 1 minute, and like he does. He tries to kill you, doesn't he, Babich?
Sam, if you was the manager of Alan Babich, who would you look to get him into the ring with next as kind of another step up and another way to kind of tell where he is with his career?
Somebody like Lucas Brown, somebody like that. I would. This is just if it was my, I don't know, somebody like that. Because I think he'll deal with Lucas Brown. Somebody along those lines. Even like an Eric Molina, somebody like that. That'd be a good fight for. Because I know when Hrgivoc fought Molina was like, it was I don't know how long that fight lasted. It was about 5 rounds, wasn't it? But it was a strange fight, that was. But I think Babich would look pretty good against somebody like an Eric Molina. Somebody along those lines for Babich.
We've seen Alan desperately, trying to get a fight with his fellow countryman Hrgivoc. Your thoughts
on that fight?
Yeah.
Hrgivoc batters him, in my honest opinion. Hrgivoc batters another level. He's another level. People don't realise. I mean, Hrgivoc has been boxing on the same as Dubois-Joyce. Been a boxing on the amateur scene, Olympic medalist, WSB. He's a killer. Hrgivoc is a killer, mate. Like he's Babich is he's so entertaining. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to like disregard him, because like he's very entertaining, but that the way he is will only get you so far. When you come up against Hrgivoc, somebody that punches harder than Babich, do you know what I mean? He punches harder than Babich. He's bigger than Babich, longer arms. Hrgivoc wins that fight. Like I would put everything I owned on that Hrgivoc would win that fight. That's just my honest opinion. I would stay away from Hrgivoc. Babich can have some fun fights before he goes in the ring with somebody like Hrgivoc. Like, make that fight can be huge, because they're both Croatian. Do it like next year is too early for Babich. That's my opinion. But listen, would I watch it? Hell yes. It's going to be it'll be a barnstormer. But if I was Hrgivoc's, if I was Kalle Sauerland and the Sauerlands, I'd be like, flipping it, let's get him in the ring now.
Sam, just want to touch on one other heavyweight before we do move forwards and back onto your guys. We saw Dave Allen announce his retirement last week. What were your thoughts on it and that video of him sparring Alexander Usyk?
It's a great decision from Dave. Like Dave does all these things and people think, oh, he's a bit daft. Dave's not. He's actually a really intelligent guy, Dave Allen. He knows his own. He knows himself, and Dave obviously knows that it was the time. It was the right time to call it a day. And like I'm happy he has, because I mean, what a career he's had. Like for he's just had a great career, and he's so popular. Like he's got some memories that some fighters could never dream of. Do you know what I mean? That like headline the O2 Arena, knock Lucas Brown out. That moment at Newcastle when everyone was singing your name, things like that. Like he's had some unbelievable moments. He's boxed. He boxed everyone that he was asked to box. He never really ducked anybody. Great career, and like hopefully he stays in boxing as well, because he's a big character.
And Sam, as I said, let's move forwards and on to Larone Richards. We saw him in the Matchroom bubble this past week. Teamed up with Matchroom now. Firstly, kind of, where did this entire deal come about?
Literally an hour after we agreed to part ways with Frank. Listen, there's no malice behind it. It was just not really working out with Frank, with the road, which sometimes it doesn't. So we're grateful to Queensbury that we're able to do that. And then literally within an hour, we did a deal with Eddie Hearn, which is a testament to Larone's ability. Eddie really rates him. We really rate him, and we think he can be a world champion. So It's an exciting start of an exciting journey. Larone needed a fresh start. He really needed a fresh start.
How did the talks go with Frank with regards to kind of that split? We saw him put out a tweet saying it was an amicable split on both sides.
Yeah, it was. It was an amicable split. It really was. Frank didn't try and dig his heels in. We didn't say, "Oh, we demand to leave." We had a conversation. It wasn't working out, and there's no bad blood there. We get on with it. Larone's grateful, like he's won back-to-back titles on BT Sport, and it didn't really take off like what we wanted it to take off with Larone. But listen, Larone's due a performance. Larone is due a performance. I've watched Larone box his last 2 fights, and I thought, it's like I've been with Larone for ages, and we've only been together for 1 fight. But I was ringside at Wembley Arena when he boxed Tommy Langford, and I thought if Larone would have put his foot on the gas, he'd have stopped Langford. Same with Lennox Clark, Lennox Clark was no joke, by the way. But I think in the 5th round, Larone had him hurt, and Larone just kind of coasted and took his foot off the pedal and made it a closer fight than what it needed to be. Larone's a really special talent, and as I say, he's due a performance now, and he's got to deliver now. He's got the platform. He's got a promotional team that's really going to push him. He's got to deliver his side of the bargain now.
What is the plan with Larone then? We know that he's vacated both the British and the Commonwealth titles. So moving forwards, what's Eddie said to you guys?
European level, and he wants Larone's going to have a run out because he's been out the ring a year, so hopefully he'll have like an 8-rounder before Christmas. And then after that, we want some big fights. I mean, Eddie mentioned Gabriel Rosado. That's a great fight for Larone to really announce himself at that level. Lemieux sometime next year. That's a great fight for Larone. Larone's ready to go.
Off the top of my head, you've got the Saunders Murray card and the Joshua Pulev card, which have been announced for Matchroom. I don't think there's any others, but over here in the UK, that is. Which one of those do you think you'd be more likely to see Larone out on, unless there's another show to be announced?
Probably the Billy Joe Saunders card.
Moving forwards then, once again, Sam, and onto the talking point at the beginning of this interview, the Daniel Dubois-Joyce fight coming this coming week. You said to me at the beginning of the interview, you're just hopeful that the testing and all that goes to plan and everybody tests negative for COVID-19. Are there any kind of plans in place where if somebody did test positive, there are any stand-in opponents?
I don't know. No, there isn't. No, I'll be honest. There isn't. No, that's not. It's not really in our minds, but it's in the back of like we just have to think positive, don't we? That everything's going to be all right. And listen, I think that this is the 3rd or 4th time it's been rescheduled. So third time lucky. We'll get the fight on, and it's going to be a great night next week. Special night for British boxing.
If we was in that unfortunate position where somebody in either
Stop talking negative, Andy. Stop talking negative. I'll terminate the end. No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say that if we was in that unfortunate position where somebody in either camp tested positive, if the fight doesn't go ahead, do you think it would go ahead next year, or do you think that both guys would move into different?
I don't know. I can't think that far ahead. The thought of rescheduling this fight again makes me want to jump out that window there. So no, I just want it all to go a plan now. Like it will. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be just fine, and we're going to get the British fans are going to get an absolute tear up next week.
So the bookies have Daniel Dubois as quite a considerable favourite. What do you make or read into those kind of?
I've said this numerous times. If say Joe fought the level of opponents Daniel Dubois boxed, the same thing would happen. Daniel's looked more spectacular in his fights, but Joe's fought better opposition. It's as simple as that, really. I mean, he's looked great, hasn't he? Rendering Fujimoto unconscious and what's his name? Ebenezer Tete. He's looked fantastic, hasn't he? Oh, amazing. Good luck to him. Joe Joyce has beat Bryant Jennings, Bermain Stavern, Alexander Ustinov. There's Ian Lewison on his debut, who was coming off a 11-round TKO loss to Dylan White, where he where he didn't come off his stool. Joe battered him and retired Ian Lewison. People forget about all this, but let's see next week. Let's see. Let's. All the questions are going to be answered next week, aren't they?
Sam, how key has it been that Joe's been able to have Ismail Salas back over here in the UK for all of the pandemic, and that I'm sure it wouldn't have been easy to be able to arrange it, but he's here. How key and significant do you feel that will be on the night?
Very, very significant. But let me tell you, Steve Broughton has done an unbelievable job with Joe Joyce. He's done an unbelievable job. Steve and Joe have got a great chemistry. We've got a great team next week. We've got Ismail Salas, the head trainer. We've got number 2, Steve Broughton, and we've got Jimmy Tibbs in the corner as well.
Sam, I know you've been asked this numerous times now, but now we are only a week away. How are you expecting the fight to play out?
I'm expecting the fight to play out by a Joe Joyce win, whether that be on points, whether that be it by knockout, stoppage, whatever. Joe Joyce win.
A lot of people in the build up to it, they've always said it will either be kind of Daniel Dubois early or Joe Joyce by a point or maybe a late stoppage.
Yeah.
Do you see that they're the only two outcomes?
I don't see the fight going to points, if I'm honest. I don't. I've played the fight out a few times in my head. I don't see how it goes to points. But if it does go to points, then my God, you're in for a. There's going to be a serious row going next week. They're going to have a real barnstormer with each other.
Sam, you've been in and around Joe, throughout his entire career, but for this kind of period now, this Daniel Dubois saga and rivalry, how does his kind of mentality stand up in comparison to the rest of his professional career so far?
I've never seen Joe so up for a fight ever. Like for obvious reasons, it's the biggest fight of his career. But you got to remember, Joe Joyce is boxing an Olympic final. He's boxing a Commonwealth Games final. He's been boxing in tournaments of WSB. He's been boxing all around the world. This isn't new to Joe Joyce, boxing on the centre stage. And it's just that I think Joe feels a bit hurt that so many people, not so much people in boxing. Like if you look at a lot of boxing people, you're boxing, you like your David Hay. I think you'll find a lot of the Team GB squad will think Joe's going to win as well. But you've only got to look at the odds to know who the big favourite is, because he's not just a little favourite. He's a huge favourite, isn't he, Daniel Dubois? So let's see. It's up to Joe now to put egg in their face.
Where does the winner go on the back of next Saturday, Sam?
It's huge, isn't it? It's the winner takes all, isn't it? Like they both. I think Dubois occupies a WBO number 2 slot. Only God knows how he's got that, but he's got it, which is great news for the winner, because they're going to be in a great position after the fight. They're going to be the winner of this fight can call out any heavyweight in the world, in my honest opinion.
So we have seen Frank say that provided Daniel was successful against Joe, he'd be happy to make Dubois versus Usyk if the WBO became vacant. What do you make of those comments?
I'm happy Frank's saying those things, because when Joe beats Daniel Dubois, he's going to have to put Joe in there, isn't he?
Certainly would imagine so there, Sam. Yeah, we will leave that there, and I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your day in your hotel room.
Yeah.
Sam, hopefully everything goes to plan this week, and we do see what.
Stop saying that, Andy. You've said that 3 times now. You're cursing it. Yeah, hopefully everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be all good, and we're going to get a huge fight next week.
I won't say any more. Sam, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No worries, mate. Take care, mate.